Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second of a new installment here on our YouTube channel for Empires Comics, the Kickstart This, where we look for interesting Kickstarter projects out there that are working on getting a successful Kickstarter going. And then we talk to the creators to find out more about them, their projects, and why you should support it and why you should go over and take a peek at the very least and see what they have to offer. And tonight we are welcoming Ally Shwed from the Little Red Bird Press out in, well, God, where are you guys based?
Okay, well, we kind of split our time between New Jersey. That's kind of the real home base where we'll be fulfilling the Kickstarter from, but also Querétaro, Mexico, which is a city maybe about 2-hour north drive from Mexico City. So where I'm Skyping in from right now is actually Mexico.
It is? Okay, so do you go back and forth?
Yes, we do. Yep. So Gerardo, who's one of the other artists on the Kickstarter, and I both moved down to Mexico to teach comics actually a couple years ago. And then we sort of stayed put after that. And then I'm originally from New Jersey. So we kind of go back and forth, and we're floating in between all the worlds. And then we have Zak, our other artist, in Colorado. So we hit all bases.
You do. So then, well, before we go into the project itself, let's get a little bit about you guys and how you got started, because you've got 3 people who aren't even in the same place putting this together. How did you all meet? Was it through school?
That's how I met Gerardo. We went to grad school together at SCAD in Savannah, Georgia. So that's how we kind of linked up, and we started Little Red Bird Press in 2015. Through Kickstarter. We launched our first comic that we worked on together. It was a graphic novel called Sex Bomb Strikes Again. That's a Tom Jones reference. Everybody always looks at the cover and is like, Sex Bomb, what does that mean? So Tom Jones reference there. And we had a great experience with it. So we loved comics. We went to SCAD for comics, and we just wanted to keep doing things with that. So Zak, we ended up meeting at a show in Denver, the Denver Independent Comic and Art Expo, which is happening this coming weekend, actually. We met him there through people that we knew from grad school, and we just hit it off really, really well. And now we've been going to shows together and doing things for a while. And this is the first time that we've all collaborated through Little Red Bird Press.
That's great. Now, your first project that you did, is that still available out there for people to take a peek at and potentially purchase?
Yep, definitely. We have it through our website, which is just littleredbird.press. But also through this Kickstarter, we have a reward tier that you could get all of the Little Red Bird books, including Sex Bomb and everything else that we've kickstarted and made along the way. So if you're interested in our backstock, we do have that available through this very Kickstarter.
Yeah, in fact, that would be a better way to check it out and show your support, because then not only do you get the good stuff or the new stuff, but you get the older stuff as well, and you can help them reach their goal. So let's talk about the current Kickstarter that you guys have going on. Okay. There are 3 different books that you guys are going with, each of the 3 creators that you told me about. So why don't you tell us what there is that you should be looking for?
Okay, great. So we have 3 softcover comics that we're putting out. We'll start with Zak Kinsella's, which is called Burn, A Tale of Ilunea. And Zak is a creator based out of Denver, Colorado. And this particular book that he's done or is doing for the Kickstarter is a fantasy tale. It focuses on his main character as a refugee who's being forced to flee their country. So it's the tale of their journey and what they have to go through living the life of a refugee, essentially. But it's based in a fantasy adventure setting. So he kind of really wants to take the fantasy genre and sort of flip it on its head with this storytelling, while also having these underlying themes of what refugees go through, which is a really pertinent, big, heavy topic, but is a little bit more accessible through this kind of comic. So that's Zak's, which is Burn.
And he's very excited about the sentient flaming sword as well.
Oh my gosh, he's so excited about it. And we do have images of it on our Kickstarter. So if you want to see what the sentient flaming sword, which is the main character's companion on their journey, definitely check that out on both Zak's Twitter and his Instagram, which is just Zak Kinsella. But if you go to our Kickstarter page, all of that stuff is on there. You can check that out. So that's Zak's comic, Burn. The next one that we have is from Gerardo Alba, and that one is called Back Piece. It's also a fantasy adventure story based on the main character, who is a tiger, but also a tattoo apprentice who's trying to learn the ropes and become a tattoo artist. And through this job that he's trying to get into, it sends him on this outer space adventure in which he has to prove himself as both a tattoo artist and as a character to kind of make his way in the world and also save an alien race of beings while he's at it.
That one seems like it'll be a lot lighter, a lot more fun. I mean, anthropomorphic animals, aliens, spaceships, and his art is beautiful.
Yeah, and he's really into tattoo art. So he's been doodling all kinds of cool stuff that if you want to get a commission, one of the tiers that we have is that you could get a commission from us. He will draw you a tattoo in American traditional tattooing style, which is really cool. We both love watching Ink Master, and I think that kind of inspired him to get into doing it. And then it snowballed into him making this comic back piece. So yeah, that one's a 52-page.
That's a pretty unique tier too, to get a tattoo drawn for you.
Yeah, which a lot of people, a lot of my friends who have gotten tattoos before, they don't really know that you can ask artists to do stuff like that. They figure you would just go to the tattoo parlor and they do it for you, but you could totally go in there with someone else's art. So that's cool. You could have Jerry do that for you. And then the last one is an even more lighthearted comic by myself called Bearplane, which is the story of a guy on an airplane who's forced to spend the entire trip seated next to a large, ferocious bear. So this one, I did a Kickstarter a couple years back called Carpe Diem, which was it was a goofy, quick, silent comic that I did through the Sketchbook Project, which is based out of the Brooklyn Art Library in New York. They do this thing every year that you'll get a sketchbook. It's 32 pages long, and you just fill out the sketchbook, send it back to them, and they keep it in the Brooklyn Art Library. So I did the Sketchbook Project, drew this Carpe Diem comic, and I really had fun with it. It was so different from what I do on my normal day-to-day. Because my normal day-to-day is doing editorial cartooning and comics journalism. So that's like heavy news-related stuff. So I did that, had a blast with it, wanted to do it again, and that's where Bearplane came from. It
sounds like you needed a little creative outlet that wasn't quite so heavy, and that's where these came about. Now, definitely. The Bearplane is based, it's kind of like uncomfortable situations on an airplane, which we've all had. Yep. Are these things that you have had experienced yourself, or things that you have talked to other people about?
Well, it kind of came about a few years ago. I wrote a short story that was a very serious, heavy short story about someone having social anxiety on an airplane and going through experiences similar to this, that you're in your seat and there's this person next to you either doing gross stuff or being annoying or taking up your space or whatever, and you want to say something, but you can't. So you sit there and stew and you don't know what to do about it. And the short story was really kind of depressing. So I just kind of put it away and then came back to it a couple years later. I'm like, wait a second, let's make this kind of funny, relatable in that respect, but also a bit more fun. So I added a bear. I've never sat next to a bear on an airplane, but I fly a lot. So yeah, I've been through a lot of those kind of experiences. So
that's great. So when people go over to the Kickstarter and they pledge their support, what format are these going to be coming in? Are they individual? Are they collected soft covers, hard covers? What are the options they have?
We have all of the options. So the lowest level tier, you could get a digital copy of your choice of one of the 3 comics for as low as $6. And that's digital, so you don't have to pay for shipping or anything like that. But we also have a digital tier where you could get all 3 of the comics for $15. And then we have soft cover options for each of the books that you could get just one of them, or the whole entire collection where you could get all 3. So we really cover all the bases. If you want one comic digitally or all 3 comics soft cover, all of those options are there. But we also offer a lot of other things if you're able and willing to pledge even more than $25, which is the whole collection of physical copies. You could get things like prints, the commissions, like we mentioned before. We have an embroidered patch set where we each made a design that we're going to have 3 embroidered patches that you could get. That one's really cool. And original pages, we have a whole bunch of stuff that you could get.
Okay, well, you guys are going to have to go take a peek and see what they have to offer. Now, how much time is left on the Kickstarter so that people don't waste any time?
Yeah, don't waste any time because we only have about a week left. There's 8 days left in the campaign. So it ends on Wednesday, April 17th in the evening time-ish. So we don't have a lot of time left, and we're only at 55% funded right now. So we need a big push in this final week. As I mentioned before, Denver Independent Comic and Arts Expo is going on this weekend. So we're going to be there shouting it from the rooftops and trying to get support there. But we have a long ways to go. We're only a little over halfway at this point. So any support from, we have a tip jar tier where $1 will give us your support to the $100 commission tier. So we kind of offer something for everyone. If you could support, if you like what you see, check it out and tell us what you think.
All right. Well, guys, head over to Little Red Bird Press. And aside from littleredbirdpress.com, is there anywhere else you'd like to send them?
Well, if you go to Kickstarter and just in the search bar up top, if you put in Little Red Bird, we're the first thing that pops up. Again, our website is littleredbird.press, but you could also find us on Twitter, where Bird Makes Art. That's the same handle that we have on Instagram as well. And we also have a Facebook page, which is Little Red Bird Press as well. So we're all over on the internet. And then of course, Jerry, myself, and Zach all have our own handles on all of the social medias as well. So if you go to the Kickstarter page, you could link up with all of us individually too.
That's great. Well, then clearly the Kickstarter page is the most important. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining me today to talk about this. And I hope everybody heads on over and at least takes a peek at what you have to offer, because I got a chance to take a look at a little bit of it, and it was a lot of fun. And I think you guys will really enjoy it, especially if you're looking for something different, not your typical Marvel DC. We got enough superheroes out there. Get a little something extra in your life by checking out Little Red Bird Press. So thank you very much, Ally, for coming and joining us today. And good luck with the rest of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. And yeah, we appreciate you doing this YouTube channel. So go support indie comics.
Well, thank you. You guys have a great night, and I will see you guys in the shop. And of course, I'll be asking if you went and checked it out. So have a great one. We'll see you on New Comic Day.